here. When Stricker Louise is 5, Stricker Anna is 10, and both have a fondness for sugar and hornets. They hunt them in the garden in front of Riester Johann's factory building, of which rumor says they will inherit one day. The grass is fresh and green and trimmed to 5 centimeters, and when you lie on it and let sugar melt on your lips, a summer day can become endless. When Stricker Louise is 20, Stricker Anna is 24, at least for one more month and the hornets die out. When Riester Anna is 4, Riester Louise is 6, and Stricker Louise is 3, and word proudly spreads that the cousins will one day inherit the house. The old factory building of the brothers. The cousins carve their initials into the sun-warmed wall of the fabric building. When the evening moves over the valley, the factory building is eaten up by shadows. Quickly the evening brings the cold out of the ground in these latitudes. Summer evenings last until no cicada sings no more, says Riester Anna. When Riester Louise turns 28, Stricker Louise is 24, Riester Anna is 26, and Stricker Anna is out of the house. It's hard to keep up with your ages, says Johann Riester, who should really know best, because he used to run a company. But he is now standing in the street, in front of the metal gates of the factory building, behind him the 3 Franciscan sisters, with packed leather bags. Under his arm, Riester Johann has a landscape painting, slit down the middle and cracked the wood of the frame. When Stricker Louise is 31, she marries the landlord Ziwe, and as she becomes Ziwe Louise, her sister is 36 and still Stricker Anna. Stricker Louise clears the beer tables on summer evenings and overhears the droning, from alcohol-breaking voice of the lotter, who wants to be faster than the fresh cold and tells with a dangerously rising intonation of strange incidents in the factory house. In his beer glass swims a dead hornet. When Riester Anna turns 17, she gets on the train to the city. When she returns, in the evening, her hair disheveled, her cheeks flushed, the dust of the city clinging to the corners of her eyes. Stricker Louise hears a scratching at the front door. A scraping, as if sharp claws were running over the dark wood. Stricker Louise takes the umbrella, knocking vigorously against the wood. Riester Anna stands outside, the corners of her eyes glued by the early hazelnut pollen. A shiny metal lion enthroned the wood as the handle of the heavy wooden door. When Riester Louise is to be 22 soon, but still is 21 and does not care too much about her birthday, she loses her pin at the window of the factory house. She searches for it, in the fresh, lush green grass of 5 centimeters. Her gaze wanders over the wall of the house. A joyful memory draws before the searching eyes, which now climb the house wall looking for initials. AS, LS, AR and LR. But the nimble eyes find no trace of a notch in the white plaster. As the Stricker Louise is 30, she sucks sugary raspberry candy, as a summer thunderstorm moves over the country. Roaring wind and hot air, at tug-war and arm wrestling, break down over the houses, huddled in the valley. As the raspberry candy is now a sugary, angular slice on Stricker Louise's tongue, a clang sounds outside the door. The door rushes open. On the steps in the shooting rain lies the broken metal lion's body, the blackened cast iron rubbed in places. On Louise's tongue, the sugar slab breaks in two, jabs itself sharp and edgy into the soft flesh of her tongue. As Stricker Anna turns 50, she lives with her daughter in one part of an old house that is increasingly falling apart, and Stricker Louise lives in the other part. A summer evening is over, when the cicadas are silent, says Stricker Louise, and climbs up the stony path through the dry, rustling meadows behind the house. Looking across the valley, her gaze lingers on the empty factory building. One day she will tell Ziwe Louise, teach Riester Louise and write to Riester Anna. One day she will mention that cicadas are rare on the Swabian Alb. She will explain why the fabric building must be empty and why no one gets a nail driven into its walls and why no picture stays long, and above all why it doesn't look one day older than when it was built. Someday she'll say it, but today it's enough that she knows she will. Somewhere the shrill crickets of a cicada. Satisfied, Stricker Anna runs her hand over her waist. This summer evening is not over yet.